Alright, so we have a working prototype of the direction, the compass. I guess this is a glove or gauntlet. Um, Obviously, I'm an electronics dude, not a seamstress, so forgive me on the quality of the sewing and other design elements that are of a fabric nature. So, with that said, we are kind of facing in a north direction right now. So that LED, hopefully on your screen, it looks like it is glowing white. Then we're using, again, green for east, red for west, and blue for south. So if I go ahead and turn around to the west here, there we go, starting to glow red. And I'll go back into a northerly direction, and I'll start turning to the east here. There we go. It's green. And if I go south, I get blue. Back through east, and then back through north. Alright, so some lessons learned. Don't ever try to sew directly onto the final garment. So if I was trying to make this into a final product, or even a more refined prototype, I would not sew directly. Last time, you can see here, I sewed directly onto the yarn that was knitted into, and I think that's the right term, knitted or crocheted or whatever. That was a pain in the butt. So I finally went over and got some fabric and sewed onto that. Turned out, relatively speaking, a lot better. What else? Oh, using one of these, let's go up here. So we have the electronics, and now we have the wearables. So one of these little guys here is really helpful. So basically, put your fabric in there, keeps it taut when you're sewing. So those were really good to have around. Some other things, again, if you know anybody that is into needlepoint work, you can probably ask them what the correct terms are for these things, and where to get them. I got my stuff from Michael's craft store. But a seam ripper, a needle threader, I guess is the term, some grommets. You can tell there's some a grommet tool in there to help. Otherwise, the fabric would just keep ripping, so the little grommets in there. What else? Oh, nail polish helps to keep the, when you're done sewing, keeps the ends from fraying. With that said, be very careful. I think I have an issue between the, on the I2C, between the Flora and the accelerometer, the LSM 303 chip. When I connected it the first time, it wouldn't work. When I detached it from the fabric and just hooked up some alligator clips, it works okay. Realizing it is, it's an open collector kind of arrangement, so maybe if I put some external resistors on there and use voltage instead of relying on the internal pull-ups, maybe that would have helped. But what I ended up doing was just going back and threading another, basically double the thread between the SDA and the serial date and the serial clock lines, which obviously would, in theory, reduce the resistance, because now you've got basically two pipes going, so there's more current flowing, and it seems to make a difference. Because I tried everything else. I thought maybe I was shorting something out, but did a continuity test through everything. I wasn't shorting anything to grounds. The resistance looked good. Everything was around 1 ohm or less, maybe 3 ohms for maybe some of the longer runs of the thread. So nothing I could tell. The other thing is I put another piece of felt. You can tell there's 2 pieces of felt. So when I was done sewing, I cut out another piece of fabric about the same dimensions and sit that on top of it. That seems to make a difference too. I'm not sure exactly. Maybe as I was rubbing things, it was shorting things out. But anyway, that did seem to make a difference. Let me see here. Oh, and the snaps, definitely for the floor, because I don't want to. Today I want to do this project. Tomorrow I want to do something different. Not having to unthread every time and resew. So get the little clips, the little snap-ons, and solder those to the back. There we go. See if I can zoom in. Those are key. Put a little solder on the underside first. Then stick the one of the ends of the snap on there, and then add a little bit more solder, and it makes a pretty good solid connection. Let's see what else. Let me think. I think that's it. So again, this is obviously a very rough prototype, kind of a proof of concept. I still haven't gotten the calibration quite yet for the LSM 303 down. It seems to me it's not quite getting right. Basically north, south, east, and west. It's pretty large. Each one's 90 degrees of direction. So it's kind of rough. I'm trying to think of a way to make it a little bit more granular. But right now I got to focus on just trying to get the LSM to see if I can get more honest reading. It's pretty good. I mean, this is pointing, when I pull out the compass, that is pretty much north is right about there. So west is pretty much there. And if I go back this way, and there we hit east. So it's working pretty well. Probably a little bit more fine tuning, and then I'm going to start figuring out how do you make a final product? How do you do a prototype's one thing, but I want to start getting into making a real product. So trying to figure out how to do the fashion design side is going to be a little bit more of a pain, but it's interesting. I know I'm rambling here, but there was something else I wanted to talk about. It was the prototype, snaps. Yeah, I guess that's it. So anyway, if anyone's out there that is, if you do wearable electronics and you've got some tips, please do share. This is my first wearable project, and obviously it kind of shows at this point. But we got to start somewhere. So there we go. Anyway, appreciate it. Bye.